the Emmanuel. Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize the Alailua Oba Waliu Olu Olasukomi, the Onibeji of Ibeju. Onibeju of Ibeju. Kabiesi o. And I also like to recognize the Alailua Oba Momsen Owolabi Said, Abowa of Agbowa, Kabiesi o. I'd like to also recognize Alailua Oba Babatunde Adebolwale Muyideen Balogun Onisolu of Solu Ade, Kabiesi o. And I'd also like to recognize the Alailua Oba Muftau Olariwaju Adewumi, Oba of Ogun Fayo, Kabiesi o. And I also like to recognize the Alailua Oba Kamarudin Animashaun, the Oloja of Epe, represented by the Chief Wahid Alaolu Kabiesi o, the Olisa of Epe. And I also like to recognize the Alailua Oba Asumo Aderibigbe, the Alayondelu of Odo Ayondelu, highly represented by Chief Balogun Taufik, the Baale of Odo Onosa. So I'd like to also recognize the Alailua Oba Olufolarin Olukayode Ogunsoya, the Alara of Ilara, rightly represented by Chief Talabi Olatunji Oyebola, Kabiesi o. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. All right, I would like to also recognize the Iyaloja General of Nigeria, Chief Mrs. Folashade Tinubu Ojo, highly represented by Chief Mrs. Josephina Onwodiwe Abeni. Welcome, ma. I also like to recognize the Chairman of the Lagos State Council of Traders, Marketers, and Artisans. We recognize you and we see you. We'd like to also recognize the Community Development Associations here present, the professional and religious bodies here present, the civic societies group here present, the people living with disability, non-governmental and traditional organizations here present, the youth here present, and most especially the market men and women in IKORODU. We say welcome, and Inekpe, thank you very much. All right, so we'll move to the next thing on the agenda, which is to get the welcome address, which will be delivered by no other person than the special advisor to Mr. Governor, Mr. Lekon Balogun. Can we please give him a round of applause as he makes his way to the podium?
The Honorable Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Moshopefolu George, the CEO and Chief Resilience Officer of the Lagos State Resilience Office, Dr. Folayinka Daniel, Alailua Oba Kamarudin Animashaun, the Oloja of Ekpe, who is ably represented here by Chief Wahid Alaolu, the Olisa of Ekpe, Kabiesi o. Alailua Oba Waliu Olasukomi, the Onibeju of Ibeju, Kabiesi o. Alailua Oba Momsen Owolabi Said, the Abowa of Agbowa, Abo of Agbowa. Thank you. Alailua Oba Asumo Aderibigbe Ayondelu of Odo Ayondelu, who is represented here by Chief Balogun Taufik, who is the Baale of Ibiri Odo Onosa. Alailuwa Oba Olufolarin Olukayode Ogunsanya, Alara of Ilara, who I believe is represented here by High Chief Talabi Olatunji Oyebola, the Olowa of Ilara. Alailuwa Oba Muftau Olarinwaju Adewumi, Oba of Ogunfayo. Alailuwa Oba Babatunde Adebowale Muideen Balogun, Onisolu of Solu Alade. Also have here Alailuwa Oba Babatunde Rafiu Ishola Balogun, the Elejinrin of Ejinrin. Alailuwa Oba Babatunde Olaogun Ogunlaja Alade Shonyi, Oba Odo Norforija, Oba Odo of Norforija Kingdom. Alailuwa Oba G.A. Adegbeson, Onise of Iseland, Kabiesio. All our Bales and chiefs here present, I acknowledge you individually and collectively. Council chairman here present, Honorable Ogun Semowo, chairman of Ikosi Ejinre LCDA, the chairman of Lekki LCDA, Honorable Adeleke Olabayo, the chairman of IKORODU LCDA, Honorable Akingbade Yakub. I also acknowledge the Yoloja General, Chief Mrs. Folashade Ojo Tinubu, who is ably represented by Chief Mrs. Josephine Onwodiwe Abeni. The Lagos State Council of Tradesmen and Artisans, the CDCs here, representatives of the CDC here present, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this 6th Budget Consultative Forum of this Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu-led administration. This August gathering is in preparation for year 2025 budget hosted by the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget. This forum has always charged itself to reach out to the 5 divisions in Lagos State so that inputs from all stakeholders are taken into consideration in the state's budget preparation process to further ensure transparency, accountability, inclusion, effective representation, and acceptability of the budget. As a government, our commitment to the well-being of citizens and residents of Lagos, as well as the growth of our state, is resolute and unwavering. We shall remain dedicated to the successful completion of ongoing projects, the implementation of pivotal and iconic ones that will make our infrastructure robust, resilient, and thereby creating economic opportunities for all residents. Above all, we shall continue to ensure that Lagos State remains a beacon of cultural vibrancy, intellectual prowess, and humanistic values. A Lagos that not only drives the economic engine of Nigeria, but also enriches the soul of the West African corridor. Our philosophy remains that for democracy to maintain its essence, citizens' engagement with the government must be encouraged and indeed deliberately courted. This is evident in our state slogan of Ajumoshe, which literally means joint effort. It has been on this principle that the government has moved from one state consultative forum to 3 senatorial districts and now coming down to each of the 5 Ibile divisions of our great state. This gives the people a voice to have a say in the state's budget preparation, while also holding the government accountable to deliver on projects agreed upon, while strengthening our resolve of an all-inclusive government and reinforcing it with the mantra of no man must be left behind, either on account of social status, gender, or age. This administration will focus on policies and programs that will ensure that everyone is carried along and catered for. Thus, the main reason why the state has always adhered to proper consultation and due diligence, especially in decision-making process, while also creating an avenue to update stakeholders on the performance of the current year budget and the resources available for the annual budget, taking into cognizance all economic variables such as the global and local inflation and much more. Most importantly, this forum provides us with an ample opportunity to share ideas geared towards a greater Lagos, while rubbing minds with you, the citizens, to ensure that your desired interests are captured in the budget as resources available permits. The audience here has been from traditional rulers, religious leaders, organized private sector, professionals, trade groups, NGOs, youth groups and organizations with disabilities, and the civil society, in order to engender confidence and buy-in toward the developmental objectives of this administration. And our expectation of this forum is the significant participation in the budget preparation process by everyone present here today. The success of this administration rests on the cooperation of everyone, while assuring you that concerted efforts are being made annually to improve our tax and non-tax revenues in order to meet citizens' expectations and enhance overall service delivery by the government agencies. We seize this opportunity to appeal to fulfill their civic responsibilities through regular payment of taxes, obeying traffic rules, being environmental friendly, and overall also being security conscious. It's suffice to say at this juncture, divisions will be expected to present programs and projects that are beneficial to the people of utmost importance towards improving the socio-economic well-being, wealth, critical development of each division. Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once more, we are of the view that the success of this administration rests on the collaboration of all. Let me, on behalf of the Honorable Commissioner, the Acting Permanent Secretary, Management, and members of staff of the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget and Lagos State Government as a whole, welcome you all, our distinguished personalities, to this all-inclusive budget consultative forum, and wish you all a successful deliberation. Thank you and God bless.
We can do better for the special advisor, please. Thank you very much. Because the ministry really has us in mind, you won't hear this only in English, but the woman, that is Sheyononoefunwa, Owoni Arabirin Abodede, láti ṣe ní èdè Yorùbá.
Mo kí gbogbo ilé o. Èyí ni ògbúfọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ìkíní káàbọ̀ olùgbanilámọ̀ràn pàtàkì fún gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó lẹ́ka ètò ọrọ̀ ajé àti ìṣúná ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ọlálékan Afeez Balógun níbi ìpàdé ìfikùnlukùn lórí ìpalẹ̀mọ́ ètò ìṣúná ẹgbàá ọdún lé mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n tó ń wáyé lónìí ọjọ́ Ẹtì ọjọ́ 29 oṣù keje ọdún tí a wà yìí lẹ́kùn Ẹ̀pẹ́. Olùgbanilámọ̀ràn pàtàkì fún gómìnà kí gbogbo wa káàbọ̀, ní pàtàkì jùlọ gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọba aláyélúwà wa tó gún wá síkàlẹ̀, ẹ̀yin lóyè, ẹ̀yin baálẹ̀ ọkọ̀ ìlú, aṣojú ìyálọ́jà àgbà, àwọn alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀, ẹgbẹ́ oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́, ẹgbẹ́ oníṣòwò, ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀dọ́, ẹgbẹ́ àwọn tó ń kojú ìpèníjà ẹ̀yà ara, ẹgbẹ́ oníròyìn àti gbogbo ilé lápapọ̀ síbi ìpàdé àpérò gbogbogbò fún ìpalẹ̀mọ́ ètò ìṣúná ẹgbàá ọdún lé mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n tó ń bọ̀ dẹ̀dẹ̀ yìí, ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹfà irú rẹ̀ tí ìṣàkóso ìjọba gómìnà Babájídé Olúṣọlá ṣàgbékalẹ̀ rẹ̀ tí ẹ̀ka iléeṣẹ́ ọba tó ń rí sí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé àti ìṣúná ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó sì jẹ́ agbátẹrù ètò. Wọ́n ní ètò yìí jẹ́ àlàkalẹ̀ láti fi kàn sí tonílé tẹlẹ́mù láwọn ẹkùn márààrún tí ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó pín sí, kí ẹ̀yin alẹ́nulọ́rọ̀ ba lè ní àǹfààní àti kópa tó jọjú nínú ètò ìṣúná àti láti túbọ̀ fi àyè gba ìjíyìn iṣẹ́ ìríjú oní ọ̀gbangba òkedere ti àjùmọ̀ṣe ti aṣojú rere èyí tí kò ní ẹja ń bákàn nínú tí ó sì jẹ́ ìtẹ́wọ́gbà. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Balógun ṣàlàyé pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìjọba, ìgbáyégbádùn ẹ̀yin ará àti olùgbé ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó pẹ̀lú ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó fúnra rẹ̀ ló jẹ àwọn lógún tí kò sì lè yingin. Wọ́n wá ṣèlérí pé ìjọba yóò tẹpẹlẹ mọ́ àṣeyọrí àti ìkẹsẹ̀járí àwọn iṣẹ́ àkànṣe tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́, àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn àkọ̀tún iṣẹ́ àkànṣe tí yóò túbọ̀ mú àwọn ohun amáyédẹrùn gbẹ̀rẹ̀gẹ̀jigẹ̀ láti lè lé ìṣẹ́wọ̀gbẹ́ àti láti pèsè àǹfààní ọrọ̀ ajé tó lóòrìn fún gbogbo olùgbé ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Wọ́n tẹ̀síwájú pé ju gbogbo rẹ̀ lọ, ìjọba yóò túbọ̀ sa ipá takuntakun láti rí i pé iná ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó kò jó àjórẹ̀yìn nínú gbígbé àṣà àti ìṣe lárugẹ, àmúlò ọpọlọ tó pójú owó àti ìfọmọnìyàn ṣe. Wọn kò ṣàìgbóríyìn fún bí ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ṣe ń tukọ̀ ètò ọrọ̀ ajé orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tó sì tún ń bomirin agbègbè ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ọlálékan tún tẹ̀síwájú pé èròǹgbà ìjọba sì ni pé kí ìjọba tiwantiwa tó lè régbò walẹ̀, ìbáṣepọ̀ tó gúnmọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ ráàyè láàrin ìjọba àti ẹ̀yin ará ìlú. Èyí ló fojú hàn nínú àsọtọ̀ àjùmọ̀ṣe tí ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó yàn láàyò tí ó sì jẹ́ atọ́nà fún bí ètò àpérò gbogbogbò lórí ètò ìṣúná ṣe kúrò ní ti abala kan ṣoṣo gírogíro tí ó sì di ti ẹkùn ìdìbò mẹ́ta bíi ti àrò mẹ́ta tí kì í da ọbẹ̀ nù. Èyí tó tún yí padà báyìí sì ti pín ire láre láwọn ẹkùn márààrún tí ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó pín sí. Èyí ló wá fàyè gba ẹ̀yin ará ìlú láti kópa nínú ìpalẹ̀mọ́ ètò ìṣúná. Bákan náà ni ó sì tún kàn án nípa fún ìjọba láti pèsè àwọn iṣẹ́ àkànṣe tí ẹ fẹnu kò lé lórí. Wọ́n ṣàlàyé pé bí ìjọba ṣe ń làkàkà láti mú ìlérí ètò ìjọba alájùmọ̀ṣe rẹ̀ ṣẹ láláì yọ ẹnikẹ́ni sẹ́yìn yálà nípasẹ̀ ipò àwùjọ, akọńbábo tàbí ọjọ́ orí, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni yóò tún gùn lé àwọn àbá àti ètò ọlọ́kan-ò-jọ̀kan tí yóò jẹ́ kárí ilé bí aṣọ oníṣúgà. Ìdí rẹ̀ rèé tí ìjọba ṣe máa ń fi gbogbo ìgbà kàn sí ẹ̀yin ará ìlú kí wọ́n tó gbé ìgbésẹ̀ kankan, ní pàtàkì jùlọ láti fi tó ẹ̀yin alẹ́nulọ́rọ̀ létí bí ìmúṣiṣẹ́ ètò ìṣúná ìdajì ọdún ṣe lọ sí, bí omi ṣe pọ̀ tó lámù ìjọba fún ìṣúná ọlọ́dọọdún pẹ̀lú àfojúsùn àwọn kọ́kọ́rọ́ ètò ọrọ̀ ajé bíi ọ̀wọ́ngógó ọjà lábẹ́lé àti lágbàáyé. Ní pàtàkì jùlọ, àpérò yìí ṣílẹ̀kùn àǹfààní láti fojú rinjú fikùnlukùn pẹ̀lú àyàn ará ìlú fún ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó àti láti lè jẹ́ kí àwọn ohun tí ẹ fẹ́ jẹyọ nínú ètò ìṣúná gẹ́gẹ́ bí ipá ìjọba bá ṣe ká wọn sí. Wọ́n tẹ̀síwájú pé gbogbo ẹ̀yin làmìlaka tí ẹ bá wá péjú síbi àpérò ojútáyé yìí la pè, bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹ̀yin aláyélúwà ọba aládé wa gbogbo, ẹ̀yin baálẹ̀ ọkọ̀ ìlú, ẹ̀yin adarí agbègbè, ẹ̀yin olórí ẹlẹ́sìn, ẹ̀yin ẹgbẹ́ àdáni, oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́, oníṣòwò, ẹgbẹ́ tí kò rọ̀gbọ̀kú lé ìjọba, ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀dọ́, ẹgbẹ́ àwọn tó ń kojú ìpèníjà ẹ̀yà ara àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, láti ṣe àtìlẹ́yìn fún ìjọba bí ìgbà ẹ̀kẹ́ ti ń fọwọ́ ti ilé tí ìgbà aláàmú sì ń fọwọ́ ti ògiri. Wọ́n tún ṣe àfọ̀mọ́ pé àtúnṣe yóò bá ìlànà ètò gbígba owó orí àti àwọn owó abẹ́lé mìíràn sápò ìjọba lọ́dọọdún kí ìjọba bá lè túbọ̀ fakọyọ nínú ojúṣe rẹ̀ sí àwa ará ìlú. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ọlálékan kò ṣàìrọ́kó wá láti máa ṣe àwọn ojúṣe wa sí ìjọba, ní pàtàkì jùlọ láti máa san owó orí wa déédéé. Bákan náà ni wọ́n tún rà wá láti máa bọ̀wọ̀ fún àwọn òfin ìrìnnà ọkọ̀, àlàáfíà àti ìbádọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ àyíká wa, àti ní pàtàkì jùlọ ká má ṣe fi ọwọ́ yẹpẹrẹ mú ètò ààbò wa, nítorí ojú ni alákàn fi ń ṣọ́rí àti pé tójú tìyẹ́ ni àparò fi ń ríran. Wọ́n ní ẹkùn kọ̀ọ̀kan ní ìrètí wà pé wọn yóò fi àwọn ètò àti iṣẹ́ àkànṣe tí ó jẹ wọ́n lógún jùlọ ṣọwọ́ sí ìjọba fún ìgbáyégbádùn àwọn olùgbé ẹkùn wọn. Lákòótán, olùgbanilámọ̀ràn pàtàkì gómìnà kí gbogbo wa káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí síbi ìpàdé àpérò pàtàkì yìí lórúkọ kọmíṣánná, adelé akọ̀wé àgbà àti gbogbo àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ lẹ́ka iléeṣẹ́ ọba tó ń rí sí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé àti ìṣúná ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó pé a kú àpérò o, ẹ ṣeun adúpẹ́ pé ẹ jẹ́ ìpè wa, ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ni.
Thank you very much. All right. So we'll be moving to the next thing in the agenda in quick time, and we'll have a presentation by the Honorable Commissioner for the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Okpeyemi George.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you very much. Because of time, let me stand on well-established existing protocols, but to specially recognize and say good morning to our royal fathers here, Kabiyesi Mokin. So good morning. The Aloja General of Nigeria, ably represented, good morning. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, chairman of all the CDCs, local governments, chairman of all the groups here present, the youths, people living with disabilities, good morning, everybody. So we're here for our year 2025 consultative forum. The aim of the forum is for us to be able to hear from you, to be able to go back, take what you want us to put in your 2025 budget, and for us to also come here and give you an account of what we discussed last year and the progress we've made so far on these projects from last year into this year. The whole idea is for it to be a consultative forum which is very, very interactive. We'll break into groups later and be able to hear and get the information that you want, and also based on the themes plus agenda, the areas that are very important and particular to you, we can then take that back and go and look at it in the office and factor it into our budget for 2025. Make the presentation as quick as possible. It's just to give a highlight of where we are, what has happened. It's broken into 6 areas, which is the outline for the presentation. As a way of introduction, as I said earlier, we're about to commence our budget cycle for the new year 2025. So what this is aiming to do is we're trying to bring governance closer to you, to the people. And this is part of our inclusive, all-inclusive government themes plus agenda, where we can hear from you, take it back and factor it into account. We're going through all the 5 Ibile divisions today. We're in the fantastic city of Ekpe. So to say thank you for the welcome, and to say that we want to be able to go back and say to when we get back to the office, factor in all what you've asked us for and put it into our budget process. So just a few slides about Lagos. So as a city, we remain a huge city, one of the fastest growing and biggest in Africa. We're close to 29 million people. We're characterized by very high economic growth. We have huge urbanization, and we have a very impressive cultural diversity. Interestingly, the state is ranked as one of the leading startup ecosystems in Africa. We've increased by over 12 spots in our global ecosystem index. We boast huge unicorns such as OPay, Flutterwave, and we host the Pan-African e-commerce giants, Jumia. We have more than 500 startups, accounting for over 73% of national startups in the country. So as a state, we remain very resilient in terms of our GI constitutes. In terms of our IGR, which constitutes over 76% of our total revenue, and it accounts for more than 18% of our national GDP. Given the huge infrastructural drive and orientation we have as a state, 23% of our budget for 2024 has been allocated to infrastructural renewal and development to help our growing teeming population. Moreover, the state has looked at various initiatives and projects to help promote the standard of living for our people, ranging from the energy supply, expanding our infrastructure, and also paying attention to food security. So looking at our budget for taking a retrospective look, going back at our budgets and our budgeting process from 2022, we'll just give you a focus of our journey so far to see how we've done and where we are up to speed. So our 2022 budget was focused on key areas. It was tagged the budget of consolidation. A lot of what we looked at was expansion of our infrastructure development. We looked at projects such as the Lekki-Ekpe Road. We looked at the Okpebi-Mende Link Bridge. We tried to upscale our emergency rescue services, equipping fire services. We looked at the Mazi Street Hospital, which we've started. Construction is ongoing. We also tried to pay attention to our improvement in our human capital development and social intervention. We also looked at education, wealth creation. Our employment trust funds gave out loans to SMEs, small business, nano businesses. We also looked at ensuring that we can start to work on the sustainable development goals. Food security was very key. We started paying attention to food security. We increased our support to farmers and creation of food banks. We paid attention to technology, our security and safety. We tried to enhance our intelligence gathering capabilities with the Security Trust Fund. We also looked at being able to ensure that we could facilitate community projects and development within communities, and implementing more community-type-based solutions, which is why gatherings like this are very important for us to be able to hear back from the community and see what it is, because we realize that each community is different, and what you require in Ekpe will be different from what will be required in IKORODU, so we try and make it as specific as possible. So building on the successes of the 2022 budget, the 2023 budget was designed for continuity and was then tagged the budget of continuity. The highlights of this budget also included, but not limited to, ensuring that we could continuously facilitate our food security. We will continuously build on our emergency response services as well, strengthening the fact that we could create a lot more affordable housing for our citizens and expand our programs, our humanitarian programs. We also paid more attention to education, technology, and processing. Sectors, we also looked at transportation. The blue line was something that was, we currently now have blue line. So we currently now have the blue line running. It's in operation. The blue line is carrying close to 10,000 passengers a day. We have close to 4 million Lagosians that are on the Cowrie card. So what that does for them is they can go and tap into all the various modes of transportation. They can use it on the ferries, they can use it on the buses, they can use it on the train. So we're happy that we have close to 4 million Lagosians now on the Cowrie card, which is growing, constantly growing every day. The red line is something that is coming online now. There are other lines as well. The one particular line that's of interest to this area would be the green line, which is also going to come in, and that would open up the whole area. The Lekki Deep Sea Port is here. The infrastructural renewal in this area is key. This is one of the fastest growing areas in the West African corridor. So we know that we need to pay a lot of special attention to the Ekpe axis. So looking at our current budget for 2024, as I talked about, we emphasized continuous infrastructural upgrading and investments. We also looked at the fact that we're very key and we're very conscious of the fact that with the macroeconomic indices change in the year, we knew that it'd be difficult we need to ensure that we carried our citizens along. So food security was very key to ensure that we could carry people along. We looked at the Onje Eco initiative, which was quite successful, the food banks, and ensuring that social protection was a huge part of what we needed to do. Now, in going along with the Teams Plus agenda as well, no one left behind. We ensured that we carried our people along in Teams Plus, so youth employment, youth empowerment, gender equality, all in the Teams Plus agenda. So it's all an encompassing agenda for everyone. So some more highlights of the 2024 budget, which was the budget of renewal. As I said, social inclusion, very key, affordable world-class housing, healthcare. We looked at the Mercy Children's Hospital, which is currently being constructed. That is close to over 60% completion. Other notable projects we looked at, as we talked about the red line, the Food and Logistics Hub, which we also then had, Food and Logistics Hub, which is being constructed, is the largest in the West African, Sub-Saharan African area. We then also looked at the fact that to help this hub work properly, there are 5 middle markets in all the divisions that are being created as well. And what that does for us is that we realize that as a state, Lagos State having the smallest arable land, but having the biggest markets, we've then gone into collaboration with a state like Niger that has the largest arable land for farming, and then we can ensure that the goods, because a big problem we have is that a lot of wastage, we can't store the food. So we find that with this logistics hub that is being built and the middle markets, that would help solve the situation of food wastage. So just a few highlights of the situation, our economic situation, just to give you an idea of where it is we are. As a state, we have a very large economic size of about 43.1 trillion naira in 2023. We've had good growth, close to about 6.59%. We've had good improvements in our federal allocation from about 38.5 to about 42. March 2024 to about 2 billion in April 2024. As I spoke about our LSCTF, Employment Trust Fund program, has grown. We've empowered a lot more businesses. We know that for this, there's still a lot of work to do, specifically when we look at maybe the Market Women and Market Association. We know that in terms of being able to access these loans have been maybe a bit tedious in terms of the red tape. So we're looking at various ways to make it a lot easier, where maybe you can come together as groups and be able to sort of access those funds as well. So it's been a lot of improvements in our capital importation. we've close to 2.8 billion has been received in the first quarter of 2024. And we've also looked at various projects. We're currently working with last one now to ensure that the OMI Eco, which is being able to enhance our ferry services, is being rolled out. Over the last couple of months, Mr. Governor recently commissioned close to 15 over 40-seater capacity ferries. What that has done for us is that all these ferries were locally built here in Lagos. So job employment creation, and the fact that we're able to build capacity and the multiplier effect, and that has helped open up our transportation system. Some more highlights and just indications of where we are in terms of our informal sector, which is growing. We've looked at constructing quite a few more drainage services. We've also looked at the effectiveness of curbing our spread of cholera. We had an outbreak of cholera over the last couple of months. We're happy to say that that is a lot better now, under control. Advocacy and sensitization was paid to that. A lot of everything we do and we've done has been built on our Economic Development Plan, LSDP Plan 2022-2052. It's an ongoing plan. We continuously look and ensure that we can bring it down to the granular level where we take into account what you want to see and then go back and plug it back into the plan. So these are just some of the initiatives and some of the plans. Now, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the things we try and achieve from these forums are to ensure that we come back, we hear from you. So from the last year when we were here, there were a few projects we talked about, and just to give you a bit of an update as to what's been going on. So obviously the rehabilitation and upgrading of Lekki Ekpe Expressway under construction. We're happy to say progress has been made. We're also progressing on the development of the airports in Ekpe. It's also under progress. We're hoping that at least we'll be able to see some traction and some work we'll be able to start this year. I think all around, generally, a lot of upgrades and improvements in projects around the area. And as I said, it's for us to be here and take back some more information and go back and ensure that we can put in what else you want to hear again into our 2025 budget. I'd also like to implore that it is not a one-day affair, it's a continuous interaction, and we hope that as we go along, you'll be able to come and listen to what you want to say, take it back, and continuously come to us, and let's continuously look at it and monitor and track the progress of what we've done. Also, just a few highlights of some pictures of some projects we've looked at. So we looked at a lot of ongoing construction of the K2 Ejiri Rehabilitation Center, which is ongoing. Which is ongoing. So these are some pictures of that. The completion of the survey for the Yakubu network of roads in Ekpe as well. This is that going on. So a lot of the pictures you see, the before, the after pictures of what has been the upgrades and the works we've been looking at doing in Ekpe. The upgrading of the Lekki Ekpe Expressway, as I spoke about earlier, ongoing. We are happy that we've made significant progress on that. We're hoping to be able to ramp up and put that to completion fairly shortly. So again, some more pictures of some projects that have been upgraded in the area. The development of the rice mill is something we're also proud of. That has kicked off. The surrounding infrastructure in that area as well is being looked at and would be upgraded. The cattle feed lots transit station as well, something being developed and looked at. We spoke about the food and logistics hub as well, which is being built, which is at over 70%. This is the rice mill. So the next couple of slides will show the food and logistics hub, which is currently at over 70% completion. And we hope that this is a prototype. This is actual pictures of what's going on there. So we hope that at least once this is complete, it will be a game changer for us in being able to sort of manage our food transportation within the state in a proper structure to be able to sort of store and keep our foods. So the next couple of slides, I mentioned the Massey Children's Hospital. This is the prototype of it. As I mentioned earlier, this is ongoing work of the hospital, where we see where we are, where, as I said, at over 60% completion. We're hoping to be able to sort of move quickly and ramp it up. We also had a lot of initiatives, as I mentioned earlier, on intervention programs, the trader money launch, which was very successful. I think also we noticed that over the last couple of weeks, Mr. Governor recently announced where, as a state, we fully paid up the backlog of all the pensioners for the Lagos State. So at this point in time, I believe we're the only state in the country where has finished being owed any pensions. I think that's something that we're very, very proud of and very happy to be able to sort of have done. We've looked at also a lot of initiatives in, as I mentioned, the Onje Eco, which we looked at, where we've ensured that we're able to get intervention as citizens. We paid a lot of attention to the agric sector, the food and logistics of the agric scholars program. We ensured that we could be able to provide enough palliatives for our people. We understand that we know that once it was not enough, but at least we've managed to start the process, and it's something that we'll continuously keep getting better at and input for our farmers with attention to ensuring that we could provide the right sort of facilities for our farmers in mechanization and feedlots and all what was required. So for us, as I mentioned earlier, I think it's a case of ensuring that, it's an interactive session. These are some more pictures of some more projects and interventions that we've made. But it's for us to be able to hear back from you and to be able to sort of take back your solutions and go back and sit down and try and plug that back into 2025 process, budgeting process, which we are commencing with these consultative forums. So in conclusion, I think it's just again for us to reiterate the fact that it is, that was the LASMA control room, which we've invested in upgrading transportation systems, and we ensure that traffic management is also very important. But as I was saying earlier, in conclusion, it's for us to be able to ensure that, as much as possible, we want to be able to have an interactive session and be able to hear from you. It's very, very important for us to be able to come back and be able to report back to you, at least by God's grace this time next year, outcomes of what we took out of this forum, and come back and say, these are the outcomes, this is what has happened, this is what we've done, and where we've not been able to sort of get there, meet there, we would know and be able to give you cogent reasons as to what the issues were and where we could do a lot. Thank you very much, and hope we can be an interactive session as we go ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We give the Honorable Commissioner a round of applause for his presentation. Thank you very much. Ama wagba arábìnrin Bọ́dẹ̀dé láyè láti yàn.
Mo kí gbogbo ilé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Èyí ni ògbúfọ̀ àti ìgékúrú àgbékalẹ̀ kọmíṣánná lẹ́ka iléeṣẹ́ ọba tó ń rí sí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé àti ìṣúná nípìnlẹ̀ Èkó, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ọpẹ́ George, níbi ìpàdé àpérò gbogbogbò lórí ìpalẹ̀mọ́ ètò ìṣúná ẹgbàá ọdún lé mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n tó ń wáyé lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ lónìí ọjọ́ Ẹtì, ọjọ́ 26 oṣù kejì ọdún tí a wà yìí ní ẹkùn Ẹ̀pẹ́. Kọmíṣánná kí gbogbo wa káàbọ̀ síbi ìpàdé àpérò yìí bí àwọn tó sọ̀rọ̀ ṣáájú ti kí wa tẹ́lẹ̀ rí. Ní pàtàkì jùlọ, wọ́n kí gbogbo àwọn ọba aláyélúwà wa àti gbogbo ilé lápapọ̀. Wọ́n tẹ̀síwájú pé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe rẹ̀ tún ti gùnlé ìpalẹ̀mọ́ ètò ìṣúná ọlọ́dọọdún ti ẹgbàá ọdún ó lé mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n pẹ̀lú èròǹgbà láti ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ètò ìṣúná tó múnádóko. Wọ́n ṣàlàyé pé látàrí àti gbé ètò ìṣàkóso ìjọba súnmọ́ àwọn ará ìlú àti láti ṣe ìmúṣẹ ìpinnu ìṣàkóso alájùmọ̀ṣe ti gómìnà Sanwó-Olú tí kì í kó iyán àwọn ará ìlú kéré, ni ìjọba tún ṣe fọn rere àgbékalẹ̀ ètò ìkópa tó jọjú láti ọ̀dọ̀ tonílé tẹlẹ́mù jákèjádò àwọn ẹkùn márààrún tí ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó pín sí. Lẹ́yìn èyí, kọmíṣánná yànnàná àwọn ipò aṣíwájú ọlọ́kan òjọ̀kan tí ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ti pegedé fi gbọ̀dọ̀ jẹ kà nílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ àti ní gbogbo àgbáyé lápapọ̀ nípa ètò ọrọ̀ ajé rẹ̀ tó rú gọ́gọ́ tó sì tún ní kìmí. Wọn kò ṣàìfi ọdún yan ọdún nípa ṣíṣe ìgbéléwọ̀n àwọn ètò ìṣúná ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó láti 2022 sí 2024 tí a wà yìí. Àbájáde èyí tí ó fi hàn gbangba pé òkè ní ẹyẹ ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ti ń fọhùn nípa ṣíṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ètò ọrọ̀ ajé tó kún àkúnyawọ́, ìpèsè oúnjẹ lọ́pọ̀ yanturu, ìpèsè iṣẹ́, títẹ̀síwájú nínú ìpèsè àwọn ohun amáyédẹrùn ìgbàlódé ní pàtàkì jùlọ lẹ́ka ìrìnnà, ètò ìrónilágbára àwọn ọ̀dọ́, ìpèsè ètò ẹ̀kọ́ àti ètò ìlera ìgbàlódé tó tẹ̀wọ̀n lówó tí kò gani lára, pípèsè àǹfààní ìfẹ̀gbẹ́kẹ̀gbẹ́ láàrin ìtakọtabo àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òpó atọ́nà ìdàgbàsókè aláfikún èyí tí ìṣàkóso ìjọba tó wà lórí àlééfà báyìí yàn láàyò láti fi ṣe ọ̀pákùtẹ̀lẹ̀ àwọn ètò ìlọsíwájú rẹ̀. Ṣé ẹ̀yin àgbábọ̀ ẹni a kì í mọ̀ ogún mọ̀ tẹ̀ kí yan ewùrà má lẹ́mọ tó ṣe bí òwe ẹ̀yin àgbà. Wọ́n ní bí ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn kùdìẹ̀kudiẹ kọ̀ọ̀kan dúnkokò mọ́ ètò ọrọ̀ ajé látàrí ìyọkúrò owó ìrànwọ́ epo bẹntiró, ọ̀wọ́n gógó ọjà, ìfìdírẹmi owó náírà àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Síbẹ̀ nínú gbogbo òfin àti ọ̀la yìí ni ọmọ pàǹdọ̀rọ̀ ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó tún ṣe ara bọ̀rọ̀bọ̀rọ̀ nípa àtìlẹ́yìn àti ìfaradà yín. Kọmíṣánná tún ṣíṣọ lójú eégún àwọn ojúṣe ribiribi tó sì ń tawọ́ tasẹ̀ níkùn ìjọba láti fi túbọ̀ mú ìdàgbàsókè tó lóòrìn bá ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó nínú ètò ìṣúná ọdún yìí nítorí ó kù níbọn ń ró. Díẹ̀ lára àwọn ojúṣe wọ̀nyí ni fífi ààyè gba ìṣàkóso gbogbogbò pẹ̀lú ìfẹ̀gbẹ́kẹ̀gbẹ́ takọtabo àti ìrólágbára àwọn ọ̀dọ́, ìpèsè àwọn ohun amáyédẹrùn ìgbàlódé tó bá ìgbà mu nípínlẹ̀ Èkó, ìpèsè ètò ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìgbàlódé tí owó rẹ̀ kò fani lápòya, ètò ìlera tó fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ àti àwọn ojúṣe àwùjọ yòówù, pípèsè àǹfààní ètò ọrọ̀ ajé tí yóò túbọ̀ fìdí ìdàgbàsókè ìgbàlódé múlẹ̀ nípínlẹ̀ Èkó, fífún àwa olùgbé ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó láǹfààní ìrànwọ́ ìdàgbàsókè, mímú àyípadà ọ̀tun bá ìlànà gbígba owó wọlé sápò ìjọba àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ṣé àríṣe laríkà? Èyí ló mú kí kọmíṣánná tún yànnàná àwọn ojúṣe ìjọba tó sì dúró digbí nínú ètò ìṣúná ọdún yìí. Díẹ̀ lára wọn ni ìpèsè owó ìrànwọ́ fún àwọn oníṣòwò, ìpèsè àwọn ohun èlò iléeṣẹ́wọ̀gbẹ́ fún àwọn ìdílé tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó fún fífajúro sí ìdẹ́yẹsí àwọn tó ń kojú ìpèníjà ẹ̀yà ara nínú ọkọ̀ akérò àti ti àdáni, àtúnṣe òpópónà Ìtọ́kìn, òpópónà Òṣòdì Tápà, àwọn òpópónà àdúgbò Adéwálé Ṣáù, Ṣódípò àti Balógun tí wọ́n forí sọ àdúgbò Àwọnlẹ̀ Yakubu, àtúnṣe àti ìmúgbòòrò òpópónà márosẹ̀ Lẹ́kí Àjàṣì ń tẹ̀síwájú, kíkọ́ gbọ̀ngàn àpérò gbogbogbò ìgbàlódé, àtúnṣe òpópónà yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ láwọn àdúgbò bíi Erépòtò sí Ẹ̀pẹ́, Adésànyà, Mọ́gàjí Adébáyọ̀ Rẹ́fùwà àti Adébísí láìpẹ́. Bákan náà ni kọmíṣánná tún ṣiṣẹ́ lójú eégún àwọn àkànṣe iṣẹ́ tó láti bútòrò ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó àti ẹkùn Ẹ̀pẹ́já. Lára wọn ni ìpèsè ọkọ̀ ojú irin ìgbàlódé aláwọ̀ pupa, kíkọ́ ilé ìtọ́jú àti ibùdó ìràpadà ìgbàlódé fún àwọn tó ní ìpèníjà ọpọlọ lágbègbè Kétu Ejìrìn tó sì ń tẹ̀síwájú, àṣeparí iṣẹ́ àwọn òpópónà tó lújára ládùúgbò Àwọnlẹ̀ Yakubu ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Ẹ̀pẹ́. Abala kìíní àtúnṣe àti ìmúgbòòrò òpópónà márosẹ̀ Etí Ọ̀sà Lẹ́kí Ẹ̀pẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti oríta Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ sí Ahóyaya, Green Spring, Majek àti Ògìdán lágbègbè ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Etí Ọ̀sà àti Ìbẹ̀jú Lẹ́kí. Abala kejì àtúnṣe àti ìmúgbòòrò òpópónà márosẹ̀ Etí Ọ̀sà Lẹ́kí Ẹ̀pẹ́ sí Green Spring àti Abraham Adésànyà ní ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ Etí Ọ̀sà àti Ìbẹ̀jú Lẹ́kí. Mímú ìdàgbàsókè ìgbàlódé bá àwọn ilé iṣẹ́ iyọ̀ ìrẹsì nípínlẹ̀ Èkó, àgbékalẹ̀ orúkọ ìgbàlódé fún ìpèsè oúnjẹ, àtúnkọ́ ilé ìwòsàn àwọn ọmọdé ti Másì lágbègbè Erékùṣù Èkó tó sì ń tẹ̀síwájú, ìfilọ́lẹ̀ owó ìrànwọ́ ìdókòwò fún àwọn oníṣòwò tí a mọ̀ sí owó ọlọ́jà, ayẹyẹ ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gboyè àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ lọ́kan òjọ̀kan tí iye wọn tó 700 jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àgbékalẹ̀ ọjà oúnjẹ Èkó lówó tó rọjú, pínpín àwọn ohun èlò ìrànwọ́ oúnjẹ lábẹ́ ètò oúnjẹ Èkó, ètò ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ìgbàlódé tí kò lánilóògùn, ètò ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àti ìrólágbára àwọn àgbẹ̀ ọlọ́gbìn ìrẹsì, ètò ọ̀gbìn ìgbàlódé pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀rọ katakata amúṣẹ́yá, àgbékalẹ̀ ilé ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìgbàlódé ẹran pípa, sísan àjẹsílẹ̀ owó ìfẹ̀yìntì tí iye rẹ̀ tó bílíọ̀nù 4.5 ó dín díẹ̀ náírà fún àwọn ẹgbẹ̀rún 2 òṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì nípínlẹ̀ Èkó, ìrólágbára àwọn obìnrin tó ń kojú ìpèníjà ẹ̀yà ara jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó pẹ̀lú owó ìrànwọ́ àti àwọn ohun èlò ìmúṣiṣẹ́, ìpèsè yàrá agbára ìgbàlódé fún àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ tó ń darí ìgbòkègbodò ọkọ̀ lójú pópó nípínlẹ̀ Èkó tí a mọ̀ sí LASTMA àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Púpọ̀ nínú àwọn iṣẹ́ àkànṣe wọ̀nyí ni a ti ń ṣàfihàn wọn lórí àwọn ẹ̀rọ amóhùnmáwòrán tó wà níwájú wa. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ọpẹ́jọ tún rán wa létí pé ìṣàkóso ìjọba tó wà lórí àlééfà báyìí jẹ́ ti àjùmọ̀ṣe àti ti gbogbogbò. Látàrí àti fìdí àjùmọ̀ṣe ìṣàkóso ìjọba náà múlẹ̀ ni ìjọba ṣe ṣe àfikún àwọn òpó atọ́nà ìmúṣiṣẹ́ ìdàgbàsókè rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìpèsè àǹfààní ìfẹ̀gbẹ́kẹ̀gbẹ́ takọtabo, kíkó ará ìlú mọ́ra àti ṣíṣe àmúlò àwọn ọ̀dọ́. Wọ́n ní kí àwọn òpó atọ́nà wọ̀nyí tó lè kẹsẹ̀ járí, ètò ìpawówọlé sápò ìjọba lábẹ́lé nílò àmójútó láti dẹ́kun ìná àpà àti ìdánilágara. Kọmíṣánná ní ìjọba náà mọ̀ pé awọ kò fi bẹ́ẹ̀ ka ojú ìlú lásìkò yìí látàrí ìyọkúrò owó ìrànwọ́ epo bẹntiró, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n sọ ọ́ di mímọ̀ pé ìjọba ti pinnu láti má ṣe dá àwọn ará ìlú dá bùkátà wa. Ìdí rèé tí ìjọba fi ń gbé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ amáyédẹrùn lẹ́ka ètò ọ̀gbìn, ìpèsè oúnjẹ, ètò ìrìnnà àti ti ìlera. Lákòótán, wọ́n rọ kó wá láti fi èròǹgbà wa lórí ètò ìṣúná àti àwọn ohun tí ó jẹ wá lógún fún ọdún tó ń bọ̀ ṣọwọ́ sí ìjọba fún ìmúṣiṣẹ́ rẹ̀. Ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀, a kú àpérò ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ni.
Thank you very much. Before we move to the next thing on the agenda, I'd like to recognize the Alailua Oba Ganiu Adigbesin, the Onise of Iselan Kabiesio. I'd also like to recognize the Alailua Oba Deleke Akibu Ismail, Oba of Likba. Lekpia Kabiesio. Thank you very much. I'd also like to recognize the Nigerian Youth Council of Nigeria, Ekpe chapter. All right, so before we go to the next thing on the agenda, which is a breakout session, but before we do that, I would like to call on the Director of Lagos State Bureau of Statistics, Mr. Bashiru Temitokwe Oseniope, to do that for us. Thank you very much. Can we please give him a round of applause as he makes his way to the tongue?
Thank you. Mojuba. First and foremost, my name is Oseniope Bashir Temitayo. Mo kọ́kọ́ júbà àwọn onílẹ̀ Ẹ̀pẹ́, àwọn tó kọ́ tẹ̀ Ẹ̀pẹ́ dó. Mo júbà gbogbo ẹ̀yin kábíyèsí lọ́ba. Ọmọge mẹ́ta tí ń sọ níbẹ̀ jù, ìkíní àsowó, ìkejì àsoyún, ìkẹta àsàlárì bàbá aṣọ. Ìkàsọ̀ tá a wà yìí nísìnyí ni ètò tí a fẹ́ ṣe ni wípé torí pé ìjọba tí a wà yìí ó ń kó aráàlú mọ́ra, wọ́n dẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹ́ kí àwọn aráàlú sọ ìdùnnú ọkàn wọn, nǹkan tí wọ́n fẹ́ kíjọba ṣe fún wọn, nǹkan tí wọ́n fẹ́ kíjọba ṣe fún wọn tí wọ́n bá gbọ́ láti aráàlú, ibi tó fẹ́ omi téèyàn ń kọ́ iléèwé, ibi tó fẹ́ ọ̀nà tó dáa téèyàn ń ṣe nǹkan míì tí wọ́n fẹ́, bí ìgbà téèyàn da owó sínú òkun àbí sínú ọ̀sà ni. Ìdí èyí ni ìjọba ṣe wá wò wípé kí a ṣe àpéjọ láti béèrè nǹkan tí àwọn aráàlú fẹ́. Òpó méje níjọba fẹ́ fi gba àwọn nǹkan tí aráàlú fẹ́ wọ̀nyí. Òpó kìíní ni nípa ọrọ̀ ajé, making Lagos a 21st century. Òpó kejì ni nípa ìdáàbòbò àti ìṣèjọba tó dáa, tàmọ̀ sí security and governance. Òpó kẹta ni health and environment, nípa ètò ìlera àti nípa ètò àyíká. Òpó kẹrin ni education and technology, nípa ètò ẹ̀kọ́ àti nípa ẹ̀rọ ìgbàlódé tí a mọ̀ sí technology. Òpó karùn-ún ni social inclusion, gender equality and youth, nípa àwọn èèyàn tó kù díẹ̀ fún àbí nípa àwọn tá a mọ̀ sí people with disabilities àti nípa àwọn ọ̀dọ́. Ìjọba mú eléyìí lókùnkúndùn láti jẹ́ pé gbogbo èèyàn ni wọ́n kó pọ̀, pé left no one behind, kí gbogbo àjọ ọmọ ìpọ̀ kárìnká pọ̀ ìyẹn ló ń yẹ ni. Òpó kẹfà ni nípa ètò ìgbòkègbodò ọkọ̀ orí ilẹ̀, ọkọ̀ ojú irin, ọkọ̀ orí omi, tá a mọ̀ sí traffic management and transportation. And òpó keje ni nípa entertainment and tourism, nípa ètò eré ìdárayá àti nípa nǹkan tí à ń ṣe nílùú tó máa ń fa kí àwọn àlejò kó máa wá sẹ́pẹ̀, irú ṣùngbó erédò àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. So níbi táwa dé yìí, tá bá ti gba gbogbo nǹkan tí àwọn aráàlú fẹ́, òpó méje yìí àwọn tí wọ́n máa tukọ̀ ẹ̀ tó máa ṣe àbójútó ẹ̀, wọ́n máa dúró síbi tí àwọn ìwé talẹ̀ pélébé sí ẹgbẹ̀gbẹ́ ògiri ní apá ọ̀tún mi àti ní apá àlàáfíà mi. 3 wà ní apá ọ̀tún mi, 4 wà ní apá àlàáfíà mi, tó fi jẹ́ 7. Ní bíbáyìí ẹ máa sọ nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ kí ìjọba fẹ́, ìdàkẹ́ sọ lẹ́nu àbí kẹ́ kọ síwèé. Ẹ lè ní ìfẹ́ láti lọ sí òpó mi tẹ́ fẹ́ yẹ kí ìjọba ṣe nǹkan, ẹ lè kọ síwèé kẹ́ mú fún wọn. Tá bá ṣe lé ìtàn, it's okay.
I'd like to announce the official joining by virtual this meeting, Mr. Deputy Governor, Dr. Obafemi Kadri Amzat. Can we please give the Deputy Governor a round of applause as he joined this meeting virtually? We can do better, people of Ekpe. This is the first that will be happening during this forum. Mr. Deputy Governor has joined us. Can we keep jamming our hands for Mr. Deputy Governor?
Commissioner, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Good morning, sir. We can hear. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, Commissioner.
Yes, sir. Wave to him so we can. Everyone.
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you, sir. Can you hear me? Okay. So, mo kí gbogbo kábíyèsí o, orí àwọn bàbá wa lọ́ba ń bẹ̀ yẹn. Mo dẹ̀ kí gbogbo orí àwọn màmá rẹpẹtẹ àtàwọn bàbá. Consultative forum tẹ gbé, mo mọ̀ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ń gbé kiri nìyẹn. So ìdí tá aráàlú gbọ́dọ̀ mọ nǹkan tá à ń ṣe àti nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe. Ìyẹn ni wọ́n ti káàkiri ọmọ àdágìrì pé ká lè gbọ́ àwọn ètò wo la fẹ́ gbélẹ̀ láti ṣe ní ọdún tó ń bọ̀. So inú mi dẹ̀ dùn, mo rí pé inú ibi tá a ti ṣe yìí nínú hall yẹn ó kún fọ́fọ́fọ́ dáadáa ọlọ́run á dá sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo wa o gbàdé ṣe ń ṣe yìí náà ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ àwọn nǹkan tó wà ní agbègbè wa tó ní àmójútó ṣé mọ̀ pé kì í ṣe gbogbo ìgbà ni a máa ní àyè láti lè ṣe gbogbo ohun tó wù wá lọ́kàn ìgbà míì owó lè má sí ìgbà míì nǹkan míì máa dé tíjọba máa tún mójútó so ká tó lẹ̀ fún àwọn ministry economic plan àwọn náà máa ń bá wa ṣe ètò àkójọ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n á kójọ lẹ́pẹ́ wọ́n á kójọ ní Badagry wọ́n á kójọ ní Ìkòròdú wọ́n á kójọ lálẹ́mọ̀ṣọ́ káàkiri so tá a bá dé a lọ sí àpè House of Assembly náà àwọn náà ṣe tiwọn ṣe wọ́n pé House of Assembly a ní àwọn méjì lẹ́pẹ́ méjì wà ní Ìkòròdú méjì wà lálẹ́mọ̀ṣọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ so a kójọ pé iye tá a fẹ́ náà rè o ọ̀tí tó wá láti ìlú rẹ̀ èwo la lè mú bẹ̀ so ẹ jẹ́ ká mú àwọn nǹkan tí a mọ̀ pé ní àgbègbè wa ń bẹ̀ ó jẹ ohun tó jẹ wá lógún bí mo dẹ̀ ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo gbọ́dọ̀ kí gbogbo wa pátápátá gbogbo ẹ̀yin màmá wa tí mo rí gbogbo ẹ̀yin bàbá wa gbogbo ẹ̀yin kábíyèsí àtàwọn baálẹ̀ àtàwọn olóyè wa tí ẹ kún síbẹ̀ mo mọ̀ pé àwọn màmá ọlọ́jà máa wà ń bẹ̀ àti ẹbí tí ń gbọ́ nǹkan tí ó wù yín lọ́kàn àwa náà lè máa mọ̀ pé bá ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ gbé sí rè ṣẹ̀dẹ̀ mọ́ ń sìn pé àwa ará Èkó a ní àǹfààní kan sìn bàbá wa Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu tó ti jẹ gómìnà wa rí àwọn ni president Nàìjíríà ń sìn so ẹrù yẹn ó máa ń pọ̀ lórí wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ṣe pé àwa la ní àjòjì jù ní Nàìjíríà Èkó ló ní àjòjì jù bó ṣe jẹ́ pé nípa ti ilẹ̀ àwa la kéré jù Nàìjíríà nípa ti ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ tòtá bá pín Nàìjíríà sí 100 ilẹ̀ ti Èkó kò tó ìdá kan ní 100 yẹn ṣùgbọ́n tá bá pín èèyàn sí 100 bíi 11 làwa kó lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ṣe rí pé ó ti yẹ díẹ̀ sẹ́gbẹ́ kan so ìrànlọ́wọ́ a máa fẹ́ látọ̀ ẹrù yìí dẹ̀ ó ṣe díẹ̀ ẹ máa ràn wá lọ́wọ́ so Ọlọ́run fi yẹn kẹ́ wá ń sìn àwọn náà dẹ̀ máa take tó lóyìnbó pè ní advantage of that so mo lérò pé gbogbo wa náà ni ọmọ abínibí Yorùbá kò ní ìdíkẹ́ mo dẹ̀ tó ń sọ òyìnbó so Ọlọ́run ọba á wà pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ pé wọ́n pè gbogbo adẹ̀jẹ̀ jáde síta dáadáa mo dẹ̀ rí pé ojú gbogbo màmá mi ló gún régé àwọn bàbá náà gún régé o ọ̀tà àwọn ìyá wọn gún régé dáadáa Ọlọ́run ní ba àwọn yín jẹ́ o lágbára Ọlọ́run Ọlọ́run àwọn ìlú ti wà Ọlọ́run àwọn ká jèrè àwọn ọmọ wa àwọn ọmọ ìyá ìyá lágbára Ọlọ́run àwọn òbí ńlẹ̀ ìyá lágbára Ọlọ́run ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ o mo ní kí yín ni pé ẹ ṣe mo ṣe kú ìdílé ẹ̀ dìde pẹ̀lú ilé mo lè rí pé mo ṣe sọ náà pé ó dúdú lé dáadáa tó àdúgbò Ọlọ́run àti ṣàìsàn agbára Ọlọ́run ẹ ṣé o mo kí gbogbo yín o. Commissioner, I thank you very, very much, Minister of Economic Planning. I thank you very much for what to Chopin, to Epe, to Badagry, to Ibejuleki, and the rest are rest. So the God will be with you, God will be with all of us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Amen, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Deputy Governor, thank you.
Thank you very much. So can we give Mr. Deputy Governor a round of applause? Thank you very much.
fẹ́ yẹ kí lẹ́yìn ìgbà tá a ti gbọ́ nǹkan tí bàbá wa sọ kí a tó pín sí àwọn òpó méjèèjì tá a sọ fún àwọn bàbá wa àwọn aláyélúwà kí wọ́n sọ ọ̀rọ̀ nípa agbègbè wọn. Ẹ ṣeun.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Alaelua Oba Owolabi Saheed Momsin, the Agbowa of Agbowa Ikosi. I wà níbí ní last year for this program. A dúpẹ́ pé this year Ọlọ́run dá gbogbo wa sí, ojú tún pé ẹsẹ̀ tún pẹ̀lẹ́ síbí. A dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run. Ètò yìí ètò pàtàkì ní nílùú Èkó, ṣùgbọ́n mo rí òye kan nípa ètò yìí. Òye tí mo dẹ̀ rí níbẹ̀ ni wípé tá bá ti wá bí, tá bá ti sọ̀rọ̀, nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́, nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́, nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́, ibi náà ni gbogbo ẹ̀ mọ́. Ní last year specifically mo sọ nǹkan mẹ́ta tó ń jẹ wá níyà ní ìlú Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì, torí tí bá kú òun bí mò ń lọ jábọ̀ fáwọn aráàlú pé ibi tẹ́ rán mi lọ nǹkan báyìí nǹkan báyìí nǹkan báyìí ni mo ṣe ń bẹ̀. Ìkíní, mo sọ̀rọ̀ ferry service a nílò ẹ̀ ní Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì. Mo dẹ̀ ti kọ lẹ́tà ministry, mo ti rìn pa ẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n títí di bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí kò sí nǹkan kan tó ti díẹ̀ yọ. Ìkejì, mo sọ̀rọ̀ ilé ìwé pé àwọn ọmọ wa ní Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì wọn ò rí ilé ìwé lọ mọ́. Ilé ìwé tó wà ń bẹ̀, àwọn ọmọ tó wà nínú class wọn ò lóǹkà. Torí ìdí èyí ọ̀pọ̀ ju àwọn ọmọ yẹn wọ́n kàn ń kó lé ní, wọn ò lọ sínú school torí school fúnra rẹ̀ kò wà conducive. Ipe a nílò ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga ìmíì ní Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì. Di bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí bákan náà ni. Ìkẹta, òun ni General Hospital tó wà ní Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì. General Hospital tó wà lágbọ̀wá Ìkòsì kì í ṣe aráàlú Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì nìkan ló ń lò ó. Gbogbo àwọn ìlú tọ́lọ́run jọ tò wá ságbègbè yẹn làjọ ń lò ó. Odò Àyàndélú, Ọ̀tà, Àgọ́òwú, Òrúgbò títí dé Tọ́kìn àjọ ń lò ni. Ṣùgbọ́n bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí common x-ray machine kò sí ńbẹ̀ o ní General Hospital. Àwọn doctors wọn ò ní quarters tí wọ́n ń sùn. As a result, àwọn doctors wọn kì í dúró nígbà tó ń rí ibi tó máa sùn. So àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí bó ṣe wà látọdún tó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló ṣe wà di bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ìyẹn ni mo ṣe sọ síwájú pé tá bá ti sọ níbí ibi náà ló mọ. Kí ìjọba Èkó kan jọ, inú mi dùn pé deputy governor wọ́n join wa, wọ́n wo nǹkan tá à ń ṣe níbí, torí pé bá ṣe wà níbí àwọn èèyàn àwa náà ń lọ jábọ̀ fún wọn pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣojú wọn pé wẹ́ iṣẹ́ tẹ rán wa o nǹkan báyìí la sọ lọ́hùn nǹkan báyìí la sọ lọ́hùn oníkálukú wọn wọn á dẹ̀ wá lajú wọn lẹ̀ wọn á máa retí kíjọba kan ṣe nǹkan nípa ọ̀rọ̀ tá a bá wà. ọmọ mi náà ó dá lórí àwọn nǹkan mẹ́ta yìí náà ìkíní ferry service ìkejì school secondary school in Agbowa Ikosi and the third one general hospital wa ó nílò àmójútó gidi ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́.
mo kí gbogbo àwọn aláìlúà tó wà lórí kalẹ̀ mo kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń ṣojú ìjọba àti gbogbo àwọn ìyálọ́jà àti gbogbo òlú tó wà lórí kalẹ̀ bí gẹ́gẹ́ bí alágbo wa ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan I'm also privileged to be here last year and èmi náà àgọ́ tiẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ dúpẹ́ kan fún ìjọba because I made a request of 4 things but wọ́n ṣe ẹ̀yẹ̀ kan bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni and ẹ̀yẹ̀ kan tí wọ́n ṣe ń bẹ̀ yẹn now I heard it from the deputy governor whatever tí ẹ bá sọ pé àwọn aṣòfin wọ́n ń represent agbègbè. We were able to give a very, because we know more requests from the last year, and it was facilitated by our House of Assembly representing our constituency, Honorable Adela Ajayi, which eventually Mobiwa Sebiti Lekki Eshe. Wari, lára nǹkan tí ó tún kù tí a fẹ́ kí ọlọ́lá wa gọ́vnọ̀ kí wọ́n ṣe àmọ́ kí wọ́n gbìyànjú o torí kò easy. ṣùgbọ́n.
mo rí bẹ́ẹ̀ but èmi ò tiẹ̀ lè wá gbọ́ kábíyèsí.
We can hear you, Mr. Deputy, sir.
Okay.
Can you unmute this music? Mr. Deputy, we can hear you now, sir.
Okay. So kábíyèsí. Kábíyèsí wa alágbọ̀wá ni mo fẹ́ response àwọn kan tán sọ.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Mi mọ̀ bóyá ẹlòmíì tó ti ń sọ.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Kábíyèsí, mo rí pé nǹkan mẹ́ta lẹ́lẹ́ sọ last year, ferry service. So, but mo ní question lórí ẹ̀. So, ṣé pé ẹ ní jetty ni? Àbí ṣé jetty wà? Kò wá sí ọkọ̀ tó máa gbé àwọn èèyàn. A ní láti dáhùn pé àkọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ ní jetty jẹ́ pé ó safe láwọn èèyàn lè máa lò. Ṣé nígbà tẹ́ ní ferry service yẹn mo fẹ́ mọ̀ bóyá ṣé jetty ò sí ni àbí jetty wà.
jetty tó wà ń bẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ó ti break. It's not good for. Kò sí jetty ń bẹ̀.
Mi ìdẹ̀ wá gbọ́ kábíyèsí mọ́ o.
Kò sí jetty ní èbúté Ìkòsì.
Okay. So commissioner ilẹ̀ máa bá wa ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ bá mi ẹ bá kábíyèsí bá lè gbọ́n kọ́bí ìgbọ́mọ́ àkọ́kọ́ pé ìgbọ́mi ṣá. Then nípa ti school ṣé high school ló ń sọ àbí primary tó bá jẹ́ anyone so ṣé wọ́n lè fún wa nílẹ̀ tá a máa fi kọ́ dá new high school
ilẹ̀ wà tá a máa fún
so
Lagos
ẹ
State.
bá mi collate àwọn response wọ̀nyí jọ.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Then tí àbí wọ́n sọ pé nínú school yẹn àyè wà tá a lè lò ń kọ́ classes sí so yẹn ni a ní láti understand ẹ̀ kí lórúkọ school náà tó wáyé pé school tá a lè lò ní tàbá ilé kọ́ buildings yẹn pé ilẹ̀ wà àìmọ̀ tí ò bá sílẹ̀ wọ́n lè fún wa ní ilẹ̀ míì a lè fi kọ́ high school sí so a ní láti mọ̀ yẹn then nípa ti hospital wọ́n kọ́ so wọ́n á rí i pé a ti ṣe àtúntò fún àwọn PHCs ní wa ìyẹn la ṣe bá mẹ́fà so a ti pín wọn bí a ṣe pín educational district pẹ́pẹ́ àwọn náà ti ní permanent secretary ní health district a ti pín sí mẹ́fà so health district tó bá bọ́ sí under àgbọ̀wá ó fi pé health district 3 bọ̀mí sure tó bá yìí tó bá bọ́ sí under àgbọ̀wá yẹn wọ́n fẹ́ máa káàkiri ń sìn wọ́n bá ti káàkiri ń sìn wọ́n máa pe stakeholders wọ́n á sọ àwọn health tó fẹ́ ṣe àbọ̀ṣepọ̀ yẹn fẹ́ ṣe àsìkò yẹn wọ́n jọ táwọn ò bá lè lọ kán ròyàn tó bá lè sọ the problem tó wà ní hospital tó ń sọ yìí part of the problem tá a bí tẹ́lẹ̀ ni pé ṣàmọ̀ gbogbo àwọn PHCs wa 300 and something la ní Lagos under board kan ṣoṣo náà wà a rí i pé kò so management yẹn kò yẹn la ṣe pín sí mẹ́fà a ṣe pín àwọn schools wa sí educational districts pẹpẹ permanent secretary kan wà mẹ́fà instead the permanent secretary yọ kan tẹ́lẹ̀ for the whole state so they are now 6 so that mo dẹ̀ ti ń rí i pé ara nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe ni pé àwọn máa káàkiri kí olúkálukú lè mọ district tó ń wà so that problem yẹn wọ́n á lè máa sọ fún wọn wọ́n á gbé wá bá wa lókè so tó bá ti ṣe meeting yẹn màá fẹ́ kán sọ fún wọn so àtọ́ bá lè wá
Lagos a 21st century economy. And if you want an hospital or an health center within your vicinity, then health and the environment is where you should be. And for the youth, it is social inclusion, gender equality, and youth. See where health is. So you go to and tell them.
Ọ̀gá orúkọ yẹn ò easy.
Ó easy lórí pé
Ojú ò lọ lu.
ọmọ òun kàwé Yorùbá.
Yankee. Ọ̀gá ìgbà mélòó mo fi ṣe lé ìjú àwọn ará aláìníwá aláìníwá. Yorùbá bù.
Ní last year kálọ̀ sí Lagos division mo lọ ra àwọn òwe Fagunwa ní 4 or 5 of them ìkọ́ ìwà lọ́wọ́ ìjọba dùn láì mo kó mo dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní mo kà.
Bọ̀dé bá ń kà tí bá ń tọrọ àmì ìgbọ̀ bá ń rẹ mọ̀.
Ó lè tán rẹ̀ tó bá kà ó ṣe Yorùbá primary secondary.
Ìdígbò wọ́n mú e gba bí gan.
No, you are taking a vocation.
I know, I'll work on it.
If you are taking a vocation that can earn you money or that is earning you money, put more effort.
No problem. I'll do just that, sir.
Yóò kejì ọdún lọ́dọ̀ wa wọ́n fẹ́ sojú dọ̀bà àwọn àárín ọbẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn tó plan ní ẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ sówó ọ̀rá sàn àwọn ìwé bèrè mo dẹ̀ ní kọ́ọ̀fù wa lọ sáírò ògùn kọ́ ní ìjọ ọdún mo lóògùn kọ́ yẹn láti dáa sáré. Mo fẹ́ gbà bí. So some people did not believe pé mi ni. Well, I put on Agbada Fila in the day. And we started with some little joke. And I got mobile work on the motor. A week after we took that. So when he paid me, I said, "Me, Roto, will you be able to do that?" So just give me your gas.
Raphael. Raphael. Photographers.
Economic Planning and Budget and the Ministry at large would like to say a very big thank you to all Alailuas here present for gracing today's occasion. We say Kabiesio and thank you for coming around.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Fún gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n bá ní ìwé tó bá fi ránṣẹ́ sí ìjọba, bóyá àwọn CDA àbí àwọn youth, tẹ́ bá ní ìwé tẹ́ bá ẹjọ́ ẹ wá sí tòsí kẹ́ lè present ẹ̀ fún commissioner. Ẹ má bọ̀ tòsí.
Yeah.
For those that have documents to be presented to the governor or to the present administration, for those things that you need, you can come closer to present it to the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget for onward transmission to Mr. Governor. Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you so much. My name is Bumi Tejumola. On behalf of Lagos Civil Society Organization, we had input and we have been doing this, and the government has been responding positively, because we don't have to lie, you know, and say because we are NGOs that certain things were. Most of the things we presented last year, including social protection, inclusiveness, especially in Ekpe, was done. And I was here last year as well. I did presentation on health because I'm heading the civil society organization's network on malaria. I did some presentation on malaria, TB, and HIV, and some of it have been affected. So this year as well, we are presenting for the 7 pillars here, including gender, education and technology, health sector. So instead of saying this all over again, we are doing the formal presentation for you to go over. You're welcome. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so you can take pictures. Thank you. The next, the CDC.
Yes. CDC. No, wait. CDC, please. CDC.
My Honorable Commissioner, sir, we are very grateful in Ekpe Division. All the CDC in Ekpe Division are very grateful for today's occasion. And we want to present our request to your officer. So, and this presentation of request, we are very, very optimistic that it will come to realistic at the end of everything. Most especially, sir, I want to lay emphasis on a project here, which is from Lekki LCDA. And the project I'm talking about is the road from Otolu to Idata Ilagbo community. We have 2 schools there. We have a RCM primary school there, as well as a secondary school there. But there is no access road, most especially in rainy season. There is no any access road at all to go to that school. And this is very, very disheartening. So we want the Lagos State government to do something about it with immediate effect. Thank you very much, sir.
So we'll do pictures. Thank you very much.
Which group? National Youth Council of
Okay,
Nigeria.
the National Youth Council of
Ekpe
Nigeria.
Division.
Ekpe Division.
Yes, thank you very much, the Honorable Commissioner. On behalf of National Youth Council of Nigeria, Ekpe Division, we want to appreciate you. We sincerely appreciate you, and we sincerely appreciate the Lagos State government for the wonderful job that they are doing in Lagos State. Sir, part of our requests have been listed and have been written, but we want to implore you as Honorable Commissioner that our youth centers in Ekpe Division, we want your intervention on our youth centers in Ekpe Division. Secondly, sir, our recreational centers in Ekpe Division are nothing to write home about. We need your intervention on our recreational centers and our youth centers. And we want to implore you, sir, if our youth centers are in good condition, we want to be part of the decision making of that youth centers so that we can have access to that youth centers, sir. Lastly, sir, we want you to use your good office to separate this Department of Agric from the youth in all our local governments, and we want the youth councils, coordinators, to be among decision making in the youth department in all our local governments in the division. Thank you very much, and God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Is there any other group that wants to make presentation? Is there any other group that wants to make presentation? Thank you. For thematic groups, let us try to round up 5 minutes time. 5 minutes more. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ní kọ́mọ́ kóbó nítorí àwọn tó fẹ́ lọ kí.